Let her cook. Y'all stop being petty. Stop being catty, cause she like a double-edged sword. She cutting tail left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it. Let's go.
Did you hear that Caitlin Clark's choice to make a move following her playoffs has not been well received by everyone? Let's just say that the NBA and ESPN are incensed due to the fact that they're seeing her recognize her worth.
Let me say this. I love the point that you made about Caitlin Clark in terms of the BS that she had to deal with off the court. We got to remember she's been box office. She was the main attraction, and there were so many storylines that's been associated with her. Most recently, the whole thing with her and Cheryl Swoops, even though it really wasn't her. It was Cheryl Swoops and all this. Every time you turned around, there was something that she had to deal with.
After her first NBA season, Caitlin Clark packed her bags to travel to Europe for an off-season. However, ESPN is not pleased with this at all. They are acting like babies and having tantrums, but after their contemptuous coverage of the biggest star in the NBA, they have no say in whether Clark leaves or remains in that pitiful league.
Struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said. That is what she said, okay? But to me, it's a bigger issue going.
Didn't care when she was playing under a lot of pressure and still excelled. They didn't help her when she needed it most. Now, when she's gone, they're left fumbling for leftovers because no one is watching the WNBA. The most pressing question on everyone's mind right now is whether she is leaving the NBA to play in another league abroad. Let me tell you, all of the news articles that are making the rounds on social media are, to put it mildly, untrustworthy. However, we can confirm that she has already left America to take a 200-day vacation in Europe. Will she play in the European leagues? Well, here's what we know.
With that news, we've already heard from Caitlin Clark that she will not be playing overseas. She won't be playing in any organized basketball organization. She actually said that she is going to become a professional golfer during this offseason.
Don't know. She has also been an amazing soccer player during her college years.
Her highlights from one game where she scored 3 goals. That's right, 3 goals in one game. And I know these highlights are far from HD 4K, so I zoomed in after each goal so you could get a closer look. Caitlin does such a good job of staying on sides here, and then the second that pass goes through, she puts on the afterburners and then hammers it home low.
You heard properly, yes. Following his dominance on the basketball court and his inception of the NBA in her free time, Caitlin Clark aspires to break golf records as she prepares to start her professional career.
Instead of owning the fact that what really was their objective and what really was their agenda is that they resented the fact that this young lady who came into the league, took it by storm, and drew in a level of attention that they weren't able to endure. They weren't able to.
In addition, for those of you who don't know, she was an outstanding collegiate soccer player.
Now, during this offseason, the players are already moving around. So a couple players have already announced that they are going overseas. We have Kelsey Mitchell going to play in China, Nalissa Smith also playing in China, and Nalissa Smith is one where there was a big question mark around her if she would be returning to the Indiana Fever, but she'll be going to play in China, and Temi Fagbenle will be playing in Turkey.
What sets her apart from the other WNBA players is her versatility as an athlete who can leave her mark and succeed in any sport. Now that she is so high, the NBA and ESPN have recognized that Caitlin Clark is the golden goose, but it's too late. Her ship has already set sail over the Atlantic.
None of it addresses my point. My point is, she's the golden goose. You have been clamoring for attention. You've been clamoring for more cachet, fair and equitable treatment, chartered jets, weight room facilities, dollars, marketing opportunities, etc., etc.
Given how horribly the NBA and her opponents have treated her this season, the question now is whether she should stay in the league or leave for a stronger league in Europe or another country, like many of her teammates.
The WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even return.
Although Caitlin Clark has said that she is not joining any European leagues and that she may rejoin the league the following season, the question at hand is whether she should stay in the NBA and risk further losses to her fitness reputation and overall ability.
In her exit interview, Storm player Gabby Williams warned the WNBA, if you want to keep international players, you need to do better. So here's what she had to say.
The W thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. You know, our commissioner talked about us being able to, you know, make $700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, you know, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. And that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money and whatever, and then the, you know, teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just, the WNBA, you know, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business. It's how it.
Given that Caitlyn's fans will follow her, wouldn't it be better if she joined a better league? In addition, European leagues offer more alluring bonuses than the NBA, improved playing conditions, and competitive pay.
Specifically, a lot of these casual fans who have come into watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, who plays a smooth style of basketball, who shoots from really far away, who makes great passes, who handles the ball well. People are coming for a style of play that is similar to that. They are not looking for post players to be posting up on one another, drop step, one step to the basket, cheap shots, fouls, slow style of basketball. They want to see a run and gun game, and I think that that is the most exciting way to watch a women's.
Many players have already left the NBA to offer their services overseas after becoming dissatisfied with the organization's leadership. For example, Gabby Williams, a forward for the Seattle Storm, complained about the league's low pay and lack of promotion opportunities, but the commissioner chose to openly ignore her. Gabby also exposed the commissioner's lies. This is exactly what's wrong with the NBA. They don't care if players are receiving lower salaries, getting fouled frequently, or receiving disrespectful treatment from other players. She was compelled to look for better opportunities after her requests were turned down, and she signed a contract with the Turkish team for Bocca SK in 2024.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
And Caitlin Clark has become the biggest victim of NBA officials. Envious veterans treated her disrespectfully, made fun of her on the court, and harassed her in every way they could. You may remember the well-known I Puke incident, where Caitlin Clark was the victim of a flagrant foul committed by Wright Dick Carrington, who was brazenly celebrating it with her teammates during the game. The NBA just looked on in silence as they ridiculed sportsmanship and fair play.
There is no one like Caitlin Clark. In the history of the WNBA,
Angel Reed took part in the same celebrations after the savage fouls attacked Caitlin Clark, and the WNBA once more blatantly ignored her offenses and took no action.
Said Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin.
When I say that ESPN did not support Caitlin Clark in any manner or denounce the Assailants for their egregious harassment of the best WNBA player to come out in a long time, where was the outrage?
My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team, she's the star. You always protect your star.
Given the number of fouls she has received this season, it is clear that Clark has had enough and is quitting a league that has been using her as a punching bag.
Struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said. That is what she said, okay? But to me, it's a bigger issue going.
Yes, you read correctly. Here's why Caitlin Clark, the NBA's Rookie of the Year, should remain. We know that she has contributed to the Indiana Fever's success, and that the team could have won that playoff game had Clark not been injured. During her rookie season, Clark received almost 20% of the team's total fouls, or about 15th of the season's total fouls.
We should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this And instead of giving her credit, y'all tried to make it about, oh, y'all poo-pooing the old.
She had to use physical force to protect herself from the frequent fouls. Clark acknowledged feeling as though she was being battered.
Since Caitlin Clark has arrived on the scene, record ratings, record revenue, everything that you could think, record attendance, everything. They've never had it before.
Prior to Caitlin, her team could only muster a few thousand fans, but she sold out stadiums and revolutionized the sport when she made her debut.
When you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue. And that's not just an issue that the players have to work out. That is from top down. That goes to the commissioner level. Like, that is the level that needs to control these kinds of.
Since Caitlin Clark entered the scene, she has proven that she is more than just a celebrity and the best of the best, defeating Hall of Fame players like Diana Taurasi on multiple occasions. However, has SBSN treated her like the celebrity she is? Nope, they missed the mark, and now they're desperately trying to maintain their reputation.
And those folks were very, very loud and conspicuous with their dissent towards things involving Caitlin Clark. When we pointed that out, we said why? What was the necessity for it? Because a rising tide lifts all boats.
Additionally, while she was carrying the entire league on her back, the NBA opted to overlook the fact that their biggest draw was being eliminated. Nevertheless, now that Caitlin has had enough and wants to succeed for herself, they all appear to care that it is their loss.
Well, that's it, you guys. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were just kicked from the WNBA playoffs, and it looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever-Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled league.
The NBA and ESPN are currently incensed, but they had an opportunity to position her as the league's face and create a franchise around her. But they decided to let her go. Since Caitlin Clark is sick of being used, she ought to move on to something bigger and better. SBSN can try to rewrite the story any way they want, but they were unable to sign one of the top players.
What will this mean for WNBA ratings? During Game 1 of the playoffs, the Fever had nearly 2 million viewers tuning in, while all the other games had around 400,000. Even the WNBA Countdown, which was aired before the Indiana Fever game, had more viewers than 2 of the series. With Caitlin's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in full swing.
As a result, it will be some time before we see Caitlin Clark play basketball, and the crowd was bound to dwindle after she left. What will happen next? Will Caitlin be moving somewhere where her abilities will be genuinely appreciated? Will the NBA and ESPN try to figure out what went wrong? As always, thank you for watching, and let's move on.